Hi everybody, and welcome back. Sorry it's been a while. I had some comments about lack of sound, so I ordered online a new mic. I got this one, got it with a gold plated connection to just ensure that it's got a good connection. Unfortunately, it didn't fit into my phone. It looks like it fits, it's just slightly too big to fit, so I had to try and find one that did fit, and I ended up actually getting a controller for my Xbox, a headset for my Xbox, and that's fit, so that's what I'm using at the moment. But I hope you can hear me better. I've done a quick tester and it does seem louder. I never actually, when I played back videos in the past to check that they were recording alright, they actually sounded okay to me. But depending on the device, yeah, I guess the volume can be different. But yeah, hopefully this works a bit better for everybody. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about Bibles, the English Bibles, the first three English Bibles that we know of. They are basically, there's the William Tyndale, it's this one which was released in 1550. It's only the New Testament. Excuse me. It's only the New Testament. But it was the first one to be released, and there's history behind it that it was written in secret and people were killed for it being translated in this time. But if you look at it, it does look different to this one, which is the Geneva, which was released 10 years later. This one was released in 1550, and this one was released in 1560. The Geneva Bible actually has the Old Testament and the New Testament in it, just for comparison's sake, because this one's only the New Testament. I've just zoomed forward to page 40 to the start of Matthew, and then on this one I've zoomed forward to page 955 for the start of Matthew. And there's also the King James Version, 1611 release, with archaic English spelling. I couldn't find one that looked original printing, but I did find this, and it says it's original archaic. So between the three Bibles, basically, the first one being released in 1550, and the third one being released in 1611. That's 61 years between all three of them being released. So that's within one lifetime, really. I know, obviously, they take time to write, and apparently the King James Version took, I think it was 7 years to write before it was released. I don't know how long the Geneva or the William Tyndale took, but the things that I did pick up about it, really, about each of them, was, so the Tyndale, when it speaks of Jesus, let's just find it. It's just going through the between Moses and Jesus. There you go. So there's Jesus. There, it's spelt Jefs. You know, the S that looks like an F. Jefus. And this one was released in 1550, and it's got a J. Now this has brought into question my understanding that J's didn't come into existence until around the 1600s. So this is something else I've got to look into now. But you can see here, in 1550, that's how Jesus was spelt. This being the first, the oldest one out of the three books. So in the Geneva Bible, let's find Jesus. By the way, yeah, did it? Where was that page? So here, On the Geneva Bible, it says it's conferred diligently with the Greek and best approved translations in diverse languages. So yeah, it's been translated from Greek. Nonetheless, there you go. There's Jesus there. So in this one, it's spelled Jefsus, and over here it's spelled Iesvs. So 10 years later, they don't have the F looking S anymore, and the U is actually a V, and the J is actually an I. So it's spelled different here compared to 10 years before here. So looking for Jesus in the 1611 version, it's spelt yet another way, and it's spelt Iesus. So I found 3 different spellings of Jesus between them 61 years and them first 3 books being released. And one of them, which is the Geneva Bible, it does admit on its front page of the New Testament that it's conferred with the Greek, and it's obvious that it has by the way it's spelt and written and everything anyway. And the Greek wasn't the original language that everything was spoken and written at when it all happened, so it was translated into Greek, and then from there it's been translated into English here. So it's more than one step of chance of error in the process of getting into English. I'm not saying that all English texts are not worth reading, or there's no truth in them, because that's not true. God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and he will get his word out to everyone in one way or another, knowing all the things that might try to stop it from happening, and he will be able to overcome anything and everything. So the reason I've got into this video today as well, really, I was having chats with someone in the comments called Livia. She basically brought the Geneva to light to me, really. I knew it was about before, but I didn't know anything about it. I didn't really see a point in trying to find that particular version of the Bible. But she kindly sent me some photos of her Geneva Bible, and it got me interested. This one was about Noah's Ark, and I found that interesting. It's like that's the shape of the ark in this depiction. But the other picture, which was really interesting, it's in from the Book of Revelation, and it's talking about the locusts and the plagues. And this is basically the description of them. And they came out of the smoke, locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God on their foreheads. And to them was commanded that they should not kill them, but they should be vexed 5 months, and that their pain should be as the pain that cometh of a scorpion, when he stung the man. Therefore in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the form of locusts was like unto horses prepared unto battle, and their heads were like as of crowns, like unto gold, and their faces were like faces of men. And had here the hair of women, and their teeth were the teeth of lions. And they had habergeons, like habergeons of Euron, and found their wings, like the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots, where many horses run unto battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, and it's the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew Abaddon, and in Greek is Apollyon. One who is past, and behold, yet 2 rows come after this. So And the sixth angel blew the trumpet, and heard a voice from the four horns of the golden star, which is before God, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels that are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, and were prepared at an hour, a day, and a month, and a year, to slay the third part of men. Sorry, my reading is terrible. Anyway, so that's basically the description of the locusts, and it does go on more and explains what's going to happen when they come. The important part was what she mentioned in it, which is down here. And in the commentary, which is the reason why I've got the Geneva, it's really fantastic, the amount of commentation it's got. But it's going down here talking about... I'll just read it, and I'll read it from, say, here. I'll just read it. Which signifies when men embrace error and refuse the true simplicity of God's word, which signifieth the Pope's clergy shall protrude ambitious, bold, stout, wrath, rebellious, stubborn, cruel, treacherous, and authors of war and destruction of the simple children of God. They pretend certain title of honour, which indeed belongeth nothing unto excuse me, unto the, as the priests by the crowness and strange apparel declare. That is, they pretend great gentleness and something. They are wise, politic, subtle, eloquent, and in worldly craftiness pass in all their doings. That is, effeminate, delicate, idle, trimming the Seleucids to please their harlots, signifying their oppression of the poor and cruelty against God's children, which signify their hardness of the heart and obstination with their errors, with assurance under the protection of the worldly princes. For as they had wings, so are they lifted up above the commune of men, and often most holy, and do all things with rage and fierceness, to infect and kill with their venomous doctrine, which is Antichrist, the Pope, king of hypocrites, and Satan's ambassador. That is, destroyer, for Antichrist, the son of perdition, destroyeth men's souls with false doctrine, and the whole world fire and sword, which was the voice of Christ sitting at the right hand of the church of God, as did Arabians, Seraphins, Turks, and Tatarians, which signifieth the great readiness of their enemies. So basically, from what I get, it's saying that what the church is doing at the moment, the Pope's church, is that which the Arabians, the Seraphins, the Turks, the Saracens, the Turks and the Tatarians have done in the past. So I also think that this is trying to say that the locusts are none of the ones mentioned below, but the locusts will do pretty much what's happened in the past, but at the end of the world, so it'll be a much greater scale. I personally don't believe the locusts are an army of men, but they could be larger giants or whatever from somewhere else, from in the north or from the south. I think the north, but maybe the south. But it was really interesting to see somewhere that it mentions the Tatarians as well, because other than the maps and that we're finding and occasional bits of text, no one really talks about them very much in history. or if they do, they tend to say the ones from the east or something like that without actually mentioning Tartarians. Just thought I'd bring that up. So today I'll actually leave the links for all these Bibles as well, because I've just started reading the Geneva Bible. It's really interesting, and it's going to take a while. Obviously, it's got 1,224 pages, so and it's got really small text, so it's going to take a while, but it's got to be done. But I also still need to get some good translations from original sources, or as close to as possible, because my understanding has been brought into question, and I know I just read from the Revelation in Geneva. Excuse me again. I just read from Revelation in Geneva, and some people don't believe that Revelation is wholly inspired. But the way I kind of see it is that I am going to research everything again, purely because I want to know for myself. But I don't doubt my beliefs. If other people doubt my beliefs and I'm with them, I agree, because I can't say with 100% clarity, but I still believe what I've been led to believe by the Spirit. But nonetheless, I'll still research anyway. But the way I see it is there's like two types of research, really. You get the people that research very little, but hold on to that little with very much intent, and hold everything else accountable to it. And people might do this due to lack of access to more, or lack of trust of other sources, or other things, other reasons. The other is due to the other is those that try to seek as much information as possible in order to divide it. That's the truth from the deceptions, and try and work out with greater understanding or greater angles to get a greater picture. And I think both of these types of research are vital for each other, really, but sometimes they do kind of lead each other into dispute as well. When I talk about things, I'm not, and scriptures and my ideas and that, I'm not saying that I'm right and that everyone else is wrong and that everyone should believe what I'm saying. I'm merely just sharing what I've been led to share, and I know it will go against what other people see. It's kind of like my life in every day, really. When the Holy Spirit is with you, you see the world a little bit differently to how you did before, and sometimes people don't really understand some of the things you say, but nonetheless, it doesn't mean you shouldn't say it, So I'll be spending my time doing some research into this book here, the Geneva Bible. I know it's translated from Greek, so it's been translated more than once to get into English, but when I was reading some of these comments, as I was going down in the first few pages, it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like it was closer to the time. The information that he's writing in here, or they're writing in here, it just seems quite personal, and as if like there was more understanding or more scripture or more knowledge or something when this was written. Whereas if you go on to say the Tyndale, there's actually words missing. So you got like the generations to Christ from David, and David to Abraham, so on and so on. It's got them all there, but here you've got words like the and that. Here you don't. You just have name beget name, name beget name. Another thing I kind of noticed was this, although it looks printed, it I think it's written with ink. It's just that if it was printed, I think that would be a bit more straight, and it just kind of goes off at an angle there. And although you can see someone's written with another kind of pen, I don't know. That kind of just looks to me handwritten, but I might be wrong. And when you look at the Geneva, you can tell it's printed. It's been on a printer, so you know that printers were printing in 1560. But so this thing, I was just wondering if they really were created and released 10 years apart from each other. Just because there's quite a big difference. If anyone can get hold of a more original form of the Geneva Bible and have a look, see if it looks like that or like this, that'd be great. But with the old version of the King James version, I couldn't find anything except for this, which obviously clearly has been retexted, rewrit recently into text form on the internet. Whereas this, you know that this was done at the time because the front page with the date and everything is all printed as well. Yeah, printed by Rowland Hall. So yeah, they're the 3 first English Bibles that were released in the country. The third one having a copyright on it, which is somewhat suspicious to say the least. But I'll be definitely looking into English and trying to get hold of something. I did hear somewhere recently that when Yeshua was alive, that he was speaking in Aramaic. So then, like, the Targum would be the accurate version of the Bible. So I don't know. I'm going to have to get some sort of Aramaic version and also Hebrew version and go through them with this English version of the Geneva. Excuse me. And try and work something out. Try and see if it all correlates the best as possible. And yeah, I was reading Isaiah the other day as well, just in my Bible, which is actually the KJV. And I was reading Isaiah, and you know, some of the things that Isaiah talks about, he's even talking about what's going to happen at the end, and some of that does come up in Revelation as well. I'm not saying that they tie in with each other. I haven't done the comparison yet, but just saying that really, just to let you know that I'm going to look into it, not to try and defend one way or the other, but for the truth's sake, really. So yeah, they're the 3 books I wanted to share today. I'll put the links underneath the video so everyone can get access to them and do some research as well if they're up for it. But yeah, sorry I weren't about for so long, but yeah, hopefully you can hear me a bit better now anyway. Not that I sound too good today with my bad chest anyway. But yeah, stay good everyone, stay well, and I'll speak to you all soon. God bless.